Stand up! Stand up! We're not backing down! Stand up! Stand up!
Good morning, Chairman and members of the board. I appreciate you giving us the time to speak. I love that idea Donna came up with because I am going to speak on hand counts again.
I'm speaking for the voices. It's time to spread the word. We need to help our people.
Good morning, supervisors. Thank you for allowing me to speak today. My name is Donna Sherwin. I'm sure you know who I am. I'm here today to try to help you, actually, and the elections office find poll workers. We just had a nice example of Emma, who just sang the national anthem. The last time I was here on March 24th, there was also another student who sang, along with a lot of other students. And I think it's important that we get the students more involved. I looked it up this morning, and the Public School Review website from 2026 shows that Navajo County has 7,967 high school students registered within our high schools, and half of them I figure are juniors and seniors, which means they would be around 16 years old. And according to the ARS 16-531, sections F through H, it describes the qualifications required of minors being appointed to serve as a clerk of election on an election board. The Board of Supervisors may appoint to an election board to serve as a clerk of election a person who is not eligible to vote if all of the following conditions are met. The person is a minor who will be at least 16 years old at the time of the election, a citizen of the United States, is supervised by an adult who has been trained as an election officer, has received training provided by the officer in charge of elections, which I assume is Kristen Haddix. A school district or charter school shall not count any of these pupils' absence. As a result, the pupil may serve on the election board. And the icing on the cake is these children will earn $150 each to be a clerk. And if Kristen Haddix says that her Rolodex of 500 people cannot provide 39 vote centers with the proper amount of people to work, then why not tap into that source? It's a great way to serve our community. It's a great way to teach them service for the future so that they can, at 18 years old, become an election official with a marshal position or ballot judge or ID judge or maybe even inspector someday. But I think it's a great way to utilize the youth and to teach them, and I just think it would be a nice way to be able to have Rachel Lewis go out into the universe or our county and maybe ask the civics groups and history teachers and whoever, even principals of the high school to get involved. We have 90 days or a little bit more than that before the primary election, so let's let the kids get involved in all aspects of our society. And I know service is very important for these children to learn. So I thank you for this time today.
Let's spread the word. We need to help our
It would be
people.
a great source of resource for that to happen. Corrective Action Plan. Remember that last night at 5:15, County Manager Brian Layton finally replied to my April 8th letter. He claims that Dropbox camera videos are not required by law. He admits ballot reports routinely come in incomplete or missing. And he simply says that he does not believe Raylene Richards adjudicated ballots alone on a Sunday. Richards, Mr. Layton, we have the video. On Sunday, July 28th, 2025, between 10 and 10:30, Raylene Richards, Christine Haddock, and her underage daughter were captured on a fisheye camera inside the election building, marking and processing ballots through the tabulators with no bipartisan observers, no witnesses, and only a distant overhead camera watching. We have the screen recording. It is right here. And we are not allowed to examine the machines because of the unconscionable contract we signed with ES&S. It limits access exclusively to county-approved employees. No independent expert, no citizen, no sheriff, only the very people we are asking you to hold accountable. You have not done what you promised to do, and we are not here to relitigate 2020 or 2024. We are here to protect 2026. For 3 years, we've brought evidence of broken chain of custody, 36 defective official ballot reports, zero retained machine logs or Dropbox videos that violate Habit's 22-month requirement. Mr. Layton's email promises future trainings and checklists. That's the same language we have heard for many years. How do we know any real improvements will actually happen? We don't. Without a mandatory corrective action plan, promises are meaningless. So what I'm proposing today is that you adopt the attached corrective action plan, and a CAP is not optional. It is the professional standard used in every regulated industry in America. It gives us ownership, a 90-day timeline, and true enforcement. A parallel lawsuit is pending right now in Maricopa County seeking the exact same CAP that we're asking you to adopt today. The problem is statewide. It's nationwide.
Your time's up.
Okay, thank you very much for hearing me today.
Stand together, side by side.
I'm Jamie Martin, and for 4 years I've raised the alarm about serious contract oversight failures, specifically third-party vendors in our elections, but this impacts every single contract that the state oversees, not just our elections. Last month, I submitted a personal records request 139, and this week it escalated to the Recorder's Office, Procurement, Information Governance, and this board. I'm not just asking for transparency, I am demanding accountability. I have been trying for the past 4 years to get Resolution 3 approved. It was approved in theory by the MCRC ECG committee. Now it needs to be approved in writing. It's a free 90-day complete corrective action plan that involves the legislator, where I'm asking the legislator to do the job that I used to do. So I worked at American Express. I was the person that had to escalate to the leaders to get them to open the corrective action plan. That's why I'm asking about corrective action plans. I've handed Mark Stewart and Debbie this complete packet. It's now in your guys' hands with PRR 139 for the BOS and information governance, and PRR 2564 for the Recorder's Office. I know what happens if this solution is ignored, and I can't let that happen in Arizona. I love my God, I love my country, and I love my freedom, and I need you to put this on the next BOS agenda so we can have a conversation with all the parties involved.
My name is Jamie Martin. I submitted a formal agenda request on Sunday and did not receive a response within the expected 48-hour time frame. Business hours. We need to put guardrails into the complaint process. We mentioned it today. There's also an active Superior Court case, so I will keep this procedural. The public is asking for 3 things: that election and the recorder issues stop repeating, and that the internal conflict stops, and that the contracts are properly governed where complaints start. What has not been presented is a clear structural solution by you. I want to present one. Please listen to me. A corrective action framework implemented within the existing complaint process creates a defined safety net where issues are assessed, root causes are identified, corrective actions are implemented, and outcomes are monitored so the same problems stop repeating over and over again. I'm here today to ensure it's formally acknowledged. We need to discuss corrective action plans with respect to the complaint process and the contract oversight process, where you're using our taxpayer funds for these contracts and for these processes that you're implementing without our input. Thank you.
Won't stay silent this time. No, I'm not backing down. No, you can't count me out.
Hi, I'm Jamie Martin. Dear Board, we need to discuss complaints and how they are or are not being handled. I'm talking specifically about the meeting that you guys just had on Monday, April 6th. At that meeting, there was clear acknowledgement of how public records requests, elections, Recorder's Office, Procurement, operate together. That part's understood, no problem. What's still missing is that what actually happens when something goes wrong. Right now, complaints are raised in this public comment forum. We can submit them, they're reviewed, but there's no clear, consistent process that ensures complaints are corrected and followed through to resolution. That's the gap I've been trying to raise with you. Steve, you said at the last meeting, no one has come to you to discuss a solution. I've been trying since May 5th of 2023.
Not once have you guys ever said, hey, let's sit down and talk and let's come up with a dialogue. Let's exchange ideas.
I'd love to talk to you about it. Yesterday, I emailed you all a full 90-day corrective action plan, along with the supporting background. The framework's there. It simply needs to be considered and acted upon. You have a process flow. You have a formal corrective action. And if you had pulled the run-back contract like I did, and you had seen there was no disaster recovery policy during a pandemic election, signed June 4th of 2020, you too would be outraged, as I was.